The war between time and money. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please again don't forget to like, share, subscribe as this helps me out a lot. Today I want to talk to you guys about the war between time and money. So my question is, what is your price tag? How much have you decided to sell your dream for? I'm appalled at the price that some people have put on themselves. The ones who gladly take a penny for their dreams. Or even the ones who follow somebody else's dream, easily foregoing their own dreams, just like a puppy that follows its new master. I'm amazed by the great men and women who can do so much, but yet they're willing to settle for so little. I know of a person with so many bright ideas, a heart of gold, and a vision of an eagle. Yet, he has happily accepted the cards he's dealt, willing to trade his time for money. It breaks my heart to see when somebody trades something they have such a limited supply of for something they can get an abundance of. You know what we call that? We call that getting robbed. Yet how many times have you robbed your own self? The greatest crime in humanity is not the race war or the war against population. Even those conspiracy theories that we consider table talk, that's not the greatest crime against humanity. Absolutely not. But the greatest crime against humanity is the crime that 95% of the world is willingly participating in. The trade of their time for money. Allow me to explain to you why this is the case. Imagine hearing the words today that you only have 24 hours left to live. What will your next thoughts be? Will you care about how much money you have in your bank account? Will you call your boss, tell him that you will make it to work the next day? Now imagine a world like Jeff Bezos, where you make about $1 million an hour. But you know what his main concern is? It's not to make more millions. But instead, he's more concerned about how to find a cure for mortality. The war between time versus money. This age-old debate continues to wage a war against every one of us that has been fortunate enough to be born. Ironically, time always wins. So that is to say, no matter how much money you have, one day your time will claim its greatest victory. You in the ground, and your money left here on earth. But you know what we all do? We still gladly trade time for what we call a small payday. I've heard this statement so many times, too many to even be able to count. And that is, I need to do ABC so I can make time go by faster. You want time to go by faster? Especially when you're being paid a measly wage for the hour that you work? Wow, regardless of the hours that you're paid to work, that trade is still very unfair. Very few people on this earth have figured out the way, and yet they've been smart enough to take away your most prized but yet limited possession, your time, for a few pennies that equate to nothing, only to ensure that you come back the next day so you can receive another handout. As long as you wag your tail, you do your happy dance, you get a bone, something befitting for your performance. Doesn't this make you wonder why the ones that we call the haves spend most of their time enjoying the good things that life has to offer, while you spend most of your time waking up, working hard, going to bed, and doing it all over again? They say your health is your wealth. I don't completely agree with that, because in all reality, your time is your wealth. Life is supposed to be a great big vacation. It's not something that you get to experience every 2 weeks, once a year. Only on the days that your master agrees that you can be free. Yet most of us happily trade 5 for 2. Let's do the math. I want you to see the insanity of your decisions. Because if you lived 70 years of your life, out of which you worked for a paycheck for 40 years, and you attended school for 20 years, and you got so tired that you had to retire 10 years before your death, I consider you just got robbed. Here's why. When you work 5 days a week for 52 weeks a year, and you do that for 30 years, you spent well over 7,800 days working. Now, if you do that for 40 years, you spend a lot more than 7,800 hours working. Now, if you recall the time that you spend in school, that 20 plus years that you spend going to school, you also do a 5-day on, 2 days off. I call that a true breeding ground for laborers. This also means you've added an additional 5,200 days of your life going to school. Now, these numbers are not set in stone, because I understand we have holiday weeks and we also have weeks that life happens. But the fact remains, you've given up well over 17,000 days of your limited existence doing what you do not want to do. The reason is because we see time as dispensable, and yet we see money as a necessity. The war between time and money. Imagine a person who lived to 70 years old. You only have 25,550 days to enjoy planet Earth. It sounds like a lot, right? But when you spent well over 17,000 days of that 25,000 days working, doing something you don't want to do, and then you spend the other half of the half remaining being sick and fighting the war between your life and your death. Now you only have 3,500 days to truly actually enjoy your life. Are you scared now? Now, my intent is not to scare you. I don't want you to make a drastic decision. I don't want you to just go ahead and quit your job. No. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to point out to you the insanity of your choices. The fact that you work for ages, wages. The person who wakes up every morning, mumbles to himself about how much life sucks, and then proceeds to do the thing that claims to make his life suck. Does that person deserve sympathy? Or is it fair to say, let's increase wages for everyone? Like that is the solution to the problem. Now imagine you going to the doctor because you have a headache. When you get to the doctor, you ask for a medication for your headache. Instead, he decides to give you a medication for your stomachache. But clearly you don't have a stomachache. That's what increasing wages for a person looks like. When your issue is time, yet people think if I can just earn a little bit more money doing what I'm doing now, then my problem is solved. Oh, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, folks. This is putting a band-aid on a wound that needs stitches. This solution does absolutely nothing for you. All it does, it highlights in detail the true ignorance of many of us today. The war between time and money. This war can only be won by acknowledging certain factors. Now, unfortunately for you, you found this video. So allow me to share with you the 3 factors that gives you a fighting chance in this war between time and money. Number 1, passive income. Now, there are 2 types of income that we receive. One is active income. Now, this involves the trade of your time, and you have passive income, which involves the trade of your resources. Most people gladly live on active income. The reason? They're warriors when it comes to working. Oh, you hear them say, I worked 20 hours today. Like that's a badge of honor. In the old days, the slaves worked. They worked 18 hours a day, and yet nobody said kudos to them. So when has it become a thing of pride to trade the only thing that God has freely given to you for the one thing that man has decided to keep you chained? The goal of everyone should be to receive passive income. That income that allows you to do whatever you want, whenever you want, all because you decided to use your resources. I made a video about growing your money tree, and in that video, I made it evident that even money grows on trees. And how that's possible? It's all by planting the right seeds. Now, some might think that it's crazy, and others might take it to be literal. But for the right person, they understand that the idea behind growing the money tree is to find out your true talent. Cultivate that talent like you do any plant. And after a short period of watering, feeding, and doing what's necessary, Your money tree grows. Now you know what follows? Generations of income that allows your family to break that chain. And no longer will you be enslaved to the almighty dollar or the currency that your nation uses. What is passive income? Passive income is having a source that you can always tap into at any time that you need. Passive income is what makes you make money when you sleep or make money when you're awake. Passive income doesn't care how your health is or who you are. Passive income only follows the law of nature, the law of sowing and reaping. Number 2, confidence. The reason why most people don't venture out of their comfort zone is simply due to a lack of confidence. We see their IG post. We see the selfies with numerous filters. They pose. They give us inspirational messages attached to the pose. And all we do is automatically assume, here is a person with all the confidence in the world. Today's society has done a good job of providing us all with a mask. The mask of false bravado. The world easily puts on the mask. The second they turn on the cameras on their phones, or they walk out the front door, here comes the mask. The mask of self-confidence is one that so many of us wear. If you wanted to see the true face behind the mask, ask that person to leave their comfort zone. I love this question. If you lost everything today, and all you had left was you, and the clothes on your back, who will you tell the world that you are? A lot of people are defined by their job titles, their foreign-made cars, their clothes, and the worthless things that they've paid for, all from pennies that were handed down to them by their master. And that's who they think they are. If you want to have a true test of confidence, ask anyone you know, who are you? And then wait for a reply. I've fallen victim to this countless times, to the point that I hid my failures and I always celebrated my success, because I feared the world seeing me as a person not intelligent enough to do what we are all naturally born to do, which is to fail. Imagine watching a baby take its first step. How many times does that baby fall or fail in their desire to walk? But yet, the baby gets up and they try again. And very soon, we're bragging and we're posting videos of our baby. And what's the baby doing? The baby's walking. So the question is, what about you? How many times have you tried walking and falling? And each time you fell, face down, what did you do next? Did you hide your failures? Did you go AWOL? Did you wait to show up only when you had a small victory? The reason for society being the way it is today is not that we're in our natural state, failing until we succeed. No. The reason we are the way we are today is that we're all living a lie. In this world, all we are is now a hotbed of successful people. Everyone claims to have never failed before. But instead, we've all become an instant success on their very first try. So now you and I lack confidence. And because unlike the Joneses, who are extremely successful, our calling card seems to be failure. So what do? We jump from one thing to another. We don't allow anything to grow legs, all because we want to be the next one to post our success and get those likes and have our egos fed. Number 3, independent. I personally like this topic, not because of the fact that it signifies success. No. Actually, I like this topic because it allows you to be a clear winner in the war between time and money. And independence is a highly misunderstood term. A teenager who can tie his or her own shoelace, drive themselves to school, make their own sandwich, and even to an extent, work a part-time job after school, they deem themselves to be independent. A person who lives on their own, pays their own bills, wakes up every single day, and logs into a job, they also think themselves to be independent. Now the question is, what's the correlation between both of them? Clearly, they're both in the grasp of somebody else's decisions. The teenager needs mom and dad, or in the case of a single parent, mom or dad, all for survival. The independent person who pays their own bills, they need their boss in order to continue to feel independent. So what is the definition of independent, and how can you be different? Independence is defined as freedom from control, freedom from influence or support. Therefore, when you don't turn in that report and your boss threatens to fire you, my question, are you still independent? Independence is a term reserved only for those who have sown their seeds and they reap from their own personal resources. Independence is the person who knows that you can't cancel him or her to fit your narrative. Independence is knowing that regardless of what happens, you are in control. How many of us can say with so much certainty that the reality of our life is that we are aware that no one makes it out alive, so therefore we do it on our own terms, without the control, the influence, or support of people who are only focused on their own agenda? Have you ever been laid off a job that you spent years of your life working and serving? How did that make you feel? This is why you must be independent, because you are truly not free. In order for you to be free, you have to understand that you cannot be one wrong word or wrong action away from joining the unemployment line. So my goal for this video is to set you free. I want you to be the first one to understand that you have to get your mind to be free, to allow yourself to believe in yourself. So you can take that first step. You can use your talent, you can use that God-given ability, and you can use that to create passive income, which will in turn give you confidence to know that you are now independent. As a person who is free, you understand that the battle between time and money is won. And how you win is by living out your life in the way that only you were meant to live, on your terms. So on the day you take your last breath, your stone will read, "Here lies you, a person who lived a life full and lived it their way." So thanks again for watching. Again, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content. I'm very grateful for you. Peace.